Hey guys, my name is Chandan and you're watching Educate India. In this video, we are going to learn about .NET 5. So recently Microsoft has released .NET 5 and it's available for use. So you can download .NET 5 from Microsoft official website. So .NET Core and .NET 5 has many advantages over .NET Framework. So in .NET Frameworks, there were many limitations related to operating system, but in .NET Core and .NET 5, it's a cross-platform. So that's why it's very popular nowadays. And Microsoft has planned to create one unified platform. Using that, we can build all different kind of applications. So we'll try to find all the answers related to .NET 5 and .NET Core. So let's start the video. So if we'll see the .NET release history, so initially .NET Framework came in 2002, and after that Microsoft introduced .NET Core in 2016, and then .NET 5 just came in 2020, and there are many advantages of .NET 5 and .NET Core over .NET Framework. So if we'll see the .NET Framework version, so there were many available versions in the market, and people are still using many versions of .NET Framework in their project. What are the advantages of .NET Core? So .NET Core is a cross-platform, so you can deploy your application, you can build and run your .NET Core application on Windows, iOS or Linux. So it's a cross-platform, but in case of .NET Framework, that was limited to Windows, so you can deploy the .NET Framework code only to Windows, but you can use .NET Core application in Windows, iOS or Linux. So that is the biggest advantage of .NET Core. And apart from this, there are some other advantages, like .NET Core is open source and it's supported by a large community, and it's a cross-platform, and it has built-in support for dependency injection. So that is one biggest advantage. Like for dependency injection, it has a built-in support, and .NET Core is lightweighted, and from performance perspective, it's excellent. So it has very high performance, and it's very cloud friendly. So if you want to deploy an application to cloud, so it is supporting all different kind of cloud services, and you can just add a Docker file and you can run microservices. You can just run your code in container, and you can use any cloud container service. If you have to take decision between .NET Core and .NET Framework, then how you can decide, like in your project you have to use .NET Core or you have to still use .NET Framework. So these are the different parameters suggested by Microsoft. Like if you have cross-platform needs, or if you are targeting microservices, or if you are using Docker containers, if you need high performance and scalable system, if you need side-by-side .NET versions per application. So in these many scenarios, we can use .NET Core or 5+. And when we can use the .NET Framework, so if your application is currently using the .NET Framework and your app uses third-party .NET libraries, and the NuGet package is not available for .NET Core, then in that case you can use the .NET Framework. And if your app uses .NET Framework technology that aren't available for .NET Core, then also you can continue using the .NET Framework. And if your app uses a platform that does not support .NET Core, then or 5+, then you can use .NET Framework. But in these many cases, like in these scenarios, you can preferably use .NET Core or 5+ versions. Now if you see .NET Core version, so these are the main two categories. So these are the supported versions, and these are out of support versions. So .NET 5, .NET Core 3.1 and .NET Core 2.1 are supported version. So Microsoft is providing the support. So they are providing LTS support and current release support. So if you see the out of support version, so there we have .NET Core 1.0, 1.1, 2, 2.2 and 3.0. For these versions, Microsoft is not providing any support. So now we'll try to understand what are the benefits of getting the support from Microsoft. So let's say if Microsoft is providing LTS, that is long-term support, so then they are going to provide you support for 3 years after the initial release. And in case of current release, they are going to provide you support for 15 months. And let's say if you are not getting any support, so if you are using any version that is not having any support from Microsoft, in that case, Microsoft no longer provides fixes, updates or online technical assistance. So it's always recommended to use the supported version so that you can get support directly from Microsoft. So the other question is like, why .NET 5 came directly after .NET Core 3.1? So why they named it .NET 5? So the reason was, first reason is to avoid the confusion with .NET Framework 4.x, because in traditional .NET Framework already have 4.x versions. So to avoid the confusion with .NET Framework version, they named it .NET 5, and they dropped the core word. So if you notice here, so there is no any core word here, it's directly .NET 5 from the name, to emphasize that this is the main implementation of .NET going forward. So this is the main implementation of .NET, and .NET 5 supports more type of apps and more platforms than .NET Core or .NET Framework. So it's better than .NET Core Core, it's better than .NET Framework because it is going to support more platforms. It is going to support more type of apps. One main thing we have to note is like ASP.NET Core 5 is still available, so this will be available, and this is based on .NET 5. So ASP.NET Core 5 is based on .NET 5, and here if you see, so they have retained, so it retains the name Core to avoid confusing it with ASP.NET MVC 5. Okay, so we also have the ASP.NET MVC 5, so there will be no any confusion, so that's why they have just mentioned this word Core. And in case of Entity Framework, Core 5 also retains the name Core to avoid the confusing it with the Entity Framework 5. So ASP.NET Core 5 is based on .NET 5, and .NET 5 will be the unified platform. Now if you'll see the diagram, so this is a diagram provided by Microsoft. So you can see Microsoft is telling, like, if you want to develop desktop application, web application, cloud related application, any mobile application, gaming, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything you can develop in a single platform using .NET 5. So now no need to use different platforms, so they are just creating one unified platform, .NET 5, and you can develop any type of application using .NET 5. So they are kind of combining all different type of application and just creating one unified platform. Okay, and the tools you can use Visual Studio or Visual Studio for Mac or Visual Studio Code or command line interface for developing these applications. So if you want to download .NET 5, so how you can download it? You can directly go to my Microsoft official website, .net.microsoft.com. In download section, you will have the option to download all the installers. So you can just choose your operating system. Like in case of Windows, you'll get three options like .NET 5 current release, and then .NET Core 3.1 long-term support, and then .NET Framework 4.8. so you have option of downloading all three in case of Windows, but in case of Linux you can download .NET Core or .NET 5, because .NET Core and .NET 5 are cross-platform, so they can run on Linux or Mac. So in case of Mac also you can download .NET 5 or .NET Core 3.1. Okay, so you can easily download the SDK, and after that you just need to follow the simple steps and that will be installed in your machine, and you can start working using the Visual Studio 2019. So that's it in this video, and I'll try to create some more videos on .NET 5, and in the upcoming videos I'll create one project using the .NET 5. There we'll see like what are the different functions or how the Microsoft has introduced the concept of middleware. So that is little bit different from .NET Framework. So we'll try to write some code and that will give you more clarity on .NET 5. So we'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care, bye bye, and thanks for watching.